name is not Dan, Erie County.
Get your hands off me, man.
No, let's
Get
go.
your going. Just because he said something, he doesn't have a lawful order of. You know, it takes 6 months to become a police officer and 2 years to become a barber. Not aggressive at all. No. This isn't me yelling. Get your hands off me. What is wrong with you guys?
You're in my space.
I'm in your space? What's going on here? You guys are violating my rights.
There's no rights being violated.
There's no rights being violated? I can't go to the county clerk's office because of why? Because of the camera?
Yes, I audited Dan from Auditing Erie County because there's virtually almost no transparency in government. And he's showing the audience and his almost 100,000 subscribers, there's a need for this. And when he wins lawsuits in regards to governments trying to arrest him, false charges, elected officials lying to stop him from recording, and then they put false charges on him for trying to simply interview, foil documents, you know, it shows you how dysfunctional local government really is. People get really, you know, uptight over the presidential races, but it all starts local, people. And this is a prime example. And I support 100% what he does and other people like it because it educates what really is going on. You can't trust the media. So we have to trust people like this because this is the only truth you're going to get. He's going to be the future of news. It's the only one we can trust. But here's the interview with Dan. Hopefully you enjoy it. And please support his channel along with mine, hopefully, if I get some attention here. But it's quite interesting, and he took some time and answered some questions, and hope you understand why he does what he does.
The sheriff swear an oath to the Constitution to uphold the Constitution. You can't ID somebody. That's the kind of shit we're talking about. This guy is a sheriff. He says he's a sheriff. He's got a badge number here, but he doesn't have no idea what the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment is. Aside from instances of police brutality and misconduct of sworn officers, one of the biggest issues with law enforcement in the United States is their lack of education regarding the constitutional limitations of their authority. The main question here is, can the government require you to forfeit your Fourth Amendment rights when seeking public services? Currently, there is no law requiring one to identify themselves when entering a public space. They can certainly ask, but refusing service because you say no is a clear violation of your rights. In the Supreme Court case of Katz v. United States, the courts found that what a person knowingly exposes to the public, even in his home or office, is not a subject of Fourth Amendment protections. But what he seeks to preserve as private, even in an area accessible to the public, may be constitutionally protected. Furthermore, it would be unreasonable to demand ID to enjoy the services you've been forced to pay for, simply because not everyone has an ID. Creating a law that requires you to show your papers to enter would be unconstitutional. But instead of protecting Dan's rights and welcoming him into his building, the deputies try to physically push him out, knowing that they're above the law.
We don't have time to do what you're doing.
Let's go.
I'm not doing anything. Do not touch me.
So how do you do this? You know, they say you're harassing them.
I'm just here for harassment and
you know,
views.
it's like but in truth, you test them. You test their ability to know everybody's rights, basically, right?
Because the people are sick of it. They're outright sick of it.
You know, I'm grilling.
I've never been one to hate the government or that, but I've learned that the government don't work for us. We're free-range slaves in a sense that, like you've seen Crocker in the video, he literally thinks these people work for him. This is his building. You see how he parks his car diagonally across two spots. These are my girls, my people. It's my. And, you know, they fabricate, they conspire with judges. Somebody's got to cover it. It can't go on forever. The farther and farther it goes on, the farther and farther worse it gets. At some point, it's got to stop. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got better things to do. I'd rather be fishing. I'd rather be hunting. I'd rather be, you know, hanging out with some friends at a bar, enjoying life.
So Crocker said in an interview earlier that a lot of people don't like what you do. What type of people don't like what you do?
Well, the people that work for the government that want to be able to get away with anything they want. And they want to be able to say whatever they want, and they want to do whatever they want. And it can't go on forever. It has to stop. There's a point where the people pay these taxes, and they expect these government workers to do the right thing. And for them to say that I walked in this building and did anything different than any other place is ridiculous. You know what? If Crocker never showed up to run his mouth, to act like a fool under camera, this town would have looked great on YouTube. It would have looked great. The ladies asked me, do you need help? I said, no. Okay, let us know if you need any help. I went back to their work. I took my photos. I was on my way out. Took one lap around the building to get some pictures of the outside, some pictures through the windows, and I was gone. And then Crocker shows up like he knew who I was. He admitted he knew who I was and what I do. And it's almost like Crocker was like, I know who this is. I can't wait till he comes to my town. I'm going to show this kid up. And then he came, and before he knew it, he realizes he was out of his league.
But there's been towns you've gone to, and they've treated you very professionally.
Tons and tons of towns, county buildings, police stations. I can name a few county buildings right off the top of my head. Like Madison County was absolutely amazing. Cattaraugus County building. I leave these buildings feeling like I own the place, and we do.
So
and
a level
we
of,
should feel.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how did 10 being the worst, how did Crocker react compared to the other?
I'm not going to say, 10 being the worst, I'm not going to say Crocker was a 10, but he was definitely a solid 7 to 8. 10 would have been calling the cops, getting them down here, making false police reports like you've seen him do on the video. And, but he couldn't help himself. He kept saying we're harassing him. But if you watch that video, I literally walked away from the man 3 or 4 times. And every time I turn around, he's back there with his camera, like, up in our face saying we harassed him. Yet, if I'm harassing him and I walk away and you come back, how am I harassing him? This doesn't make sense.
When did you start doing this? This
I've been
auditing?
going on 3 years in May.
What made you first get involved?
Just seeing other people do First Amendment audits, and I thought to myself, some of these people would post videos and you'd see just arguing with the cops, and you always left wondering, how did we get here? Were they standing out of a police station, standing by a cop car? Cop looks out the window, they see, and they duck down behind the car, peek up and duck down real quick to look suspicious to get them come out. Or if you literally just walk around a police car, take photos, they're going to come out and start questioning you and try to detain you illegally. And the fact of the matter is, once I started doing it, I found out these guys who just show the entertainment part of it are exactly just that. But I got into it to, number one, I knew it was going to get big, so the area, I decided to give them a good First Amendment auditor and someone who was going to do it with integrity, do it professionally, and that's what I did. And I started to have some, government accountability.
So Crocker said you don't do audits, he says, but realistically, you're testing them.
There's
right?
literally no better word than a First Amendment audit. I am auditing the government to find out if they abide by the First Amendment, and the police also the Fourth Amendment. If I decide not to, give ID, or the Fifth Amendment, if I decide not to answer their questions, I'm testing them, I'm auditing them to find out if they're following their oaths. I mean, Crocker took an oath of office today and then goes through a thing saying you can't say profanity here, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't talk bad about. That's a traditional public forum in there during public speaking. To go in there and criticize them or tell them that's a First Amendment constitutional right. That is seeking redress of grievances to your government, and that is exactly what that time is for. If you're unhappy with your government, you can go up there and let them know.
So if people want to find your channel, where do they search on YouTube? And
you search Mr. Erie County on Google, you'll find it, because I'm Mr. Erie County. But it is on YouTube. The channel's name is Auditing Erie County, and we just rolled 90,000, and pretty soon it's going to be 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, and we're going to keep going. And we're going to go until the government learns that they work for the people and they do not work for themselves, and these ladies do not work for the supervisor, they work for the people.
Well, thanks
so,
for the interview.
like Mr. Crocker saying, my ladies, he should be saying the ladies that work for the people are here to help the people. They're not, my ladies are here and they're loyal to me. It's not about him. His job is to supervise and make sure everything runs smoothly. It isn't to overlord anybody or anything. And that's pretty much what he tried to do here with the camera when he showed up. So one thing we're going to find out is how transparent this town is going to be, because I full requested the video footage. They certainly can't say it doesn't exist, because when he turned his camera around, we've seen it recording. He admitted it recorded a few times. So we'll find out how transparency is going to be around here. So
thanks,
make
Dan.
sure you like, share, and subscribe. Auditing Erie County, and see you guys in the comment section.